How's it going, everyone? This is your astrology horoscope for Thursday, February 15th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moon Base. Hope you guys had a wonderful Valentine's Day. That Moon-Jupiter conjunction was pretty awesome last night, if you could see it in the sky. This moon today, still in Taurus, is going to square Mercury. So, as much as this moon wants to feel comfortable, it's definitely like a little erratic and a little nervous still, and I think this moon squaring Mercury today can really help us find solutions, if we're willing to kind of step out of our comfort zones and look in areas that where we really don't want to look. And I think that the energy today can be a little unsettling and a little uncomfortable. That's kind of what has really this Aquarius season has felt like, with so many planets in Taurus and so many planets in Aquarius. With it's like we really want to be stable. Uranus and Taurus as well. Like the moon's going to conjunct Uranus later today. So as much as we want to feel stable, like all these Aquarius planets are really challenging where we think we're stable, right? Like the moment we think that we're like in a good place and we've gotten like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly how I wanted it to pan out. Aquarius is going to keep throwing the curveballs, right? So today there can be some curveballs as well. So, but I think with this Mercury squaring with the moon, we can really find some solutions. If we can really use our heads, use our brains, and dissect things in a very, rational manner. We don't want to get too caught up in just being stubborn or just being stuck. We can kind of get emotionally stuck in our minds with this moon and Taurus squaring Mercury. So this Aquarius energy is also giving us this boost to break the patterns, break the cycles, break where we feel stuck, break where we don't feel secure. If there are feelings coming up today where it's like, I don't feel secure in this situation with this person, in this place that I'm in. This is giving you the opportunity to really, break that pattern, break that cycle, and break the curse, so to say. And then right when this moon comes off of the square to Mercury, the moon's going to conjunct Uranus going into tomorrow. So I think today, like the moon isn't really doing much. There's not a lot of aspects going on really until later tonight when this moon does square Mercury. So building all day, there can be this kind of anticipation of like this nervousness. Maybe there's something it's like you got to face and it's just kind of taking a long time to build up. And I think as well, this moon or this Chiron North Node conjunction, that is, Chiron is just slowly moving towards the North Node here. And Chiron's still behind the North Node, just about 20 minutes. So there can be this lulling, lagging anticipation today. And by the evening, we can start to really get some answers. And we can start really seeing things clearly, more objective. I think today we can also find some enjoyment today as well, but we also don't want to get caught up in just being too stuck in a rut. I think this moon in Taurus, as much as it wants to feel happy and wants to feel secure, it's like I feel like today we can really get stuck in a rut. And I think there can be some pretty interesting conversations to be had too that can really challenge your beliefs as well and really challenge your opinions of things. This moon squaring Mercury is really wanting to challenge where our security lies. It's like, what did you think security really is? Like, what is your idea of security? Maybe our ideas of what it means to be secure are starting to change. We're starting to get some answers on like, okay, like, you know what? Like, this is a better way to go about it. This is a better way to really take care of myself, take care of my body, take care of my physical body. Especially when it comes to this Jupiter and Taurus where we can overindulge in things. Maybe we're not getting the mental stimulation that we need. Maybe we're not getting the nutrients that our bodies need. That's very much this moon in Taurus scoring Mercury. So I think there can be some radical changes today, and definitely going into the evening, and some very intense conversations. I think the best way to channel that is to put it into intense activity. Like, I think with this moon square Mercury energy, it's like it could be very helpful to watch like a boxing match or something. It could feel like a boxing match today. You got to take the hits, if you want to win, if you want to succeed, if you want to get to the answers. Because I feel like today we're really trying to get some answers. And the answers are going to come. Definitely when this moon conjuncts Uranus, then it will square the sun tomorrow, right after the moon conjuncts Uranus. So we're going to start getting some answers, and like this moon in Taurus has definitely been challenging and it's been quite uncomfortable. So when this moon comes into Gemini, we could really start to get some freedom of like moving around and, changing up the environment a little bit. This Mercury in Aquarius really wants to change the environment and wants to try new things. I think too, like, imagine your living space or your workspace. It's like today might be a day where it's like, hey, I've had that plant in the same spot for 5 years and I just water it in the same place. Today might be a day where you just want to kind of rearrange the whole room and just have this insight of just this, bam, I'm going to make a change here. I'm going to change my environment. I've been too comfortable in this pattern of how things are laid out here. So this moon and Mercury square today is kind of like, like a snow globe. Like you take your whole bedroom and just shake it up and bam, and rearrange everything and in a new and exciting way. And I think too, it could be stimulating to kind of want to make changes in that regard. And it could be fun. If we're going to remain stuck emotionally, it can be difficult. This moon in Taurus can be very difficult. And the rest of Aquarius season can be very difficult, And that's what all this Aquarius energy is all about. It's just being able to ride the wave and move with the changes. And as quickly as things have changed since this year has started, I think it's a good thing. I think it's what we've needed with how crazy shit has been in the world. Like, we need to really change up our environments right now and try different things, experiment in Aquarius season. Find new ways of communicating, find healthier ways of communicating. So this can bring up challenging conversations. This can bring up arguments today, but I feel like any challenging conversations that come up today with this moon squaring Mercury, it's like it can lead to some positive solutions, Like, squares are challenging, but like you can always find resolution and solutions and, find stability. As much as this moon wants to be stable, it has to deal with Uranus. And it's a square Mercury in Aquarius, with Uranus dispositing Mercury and the Sun and Mars and Pluto. It's like Aquarius is kind of winning here. Taurus is having a difficult time. And this Chiron North Node too is just this kind of lulling, dragging energy until we get there. But it's like a lot of our wounds keep popping up. So the conversations today, like, it can kind of hurt a little bit. But this is how we're finding the solutions to get to a better place of healing. Because I think what's important too is this Mercury, as the moon is squaring it at 16 degrees, is going to make a sextile over to Chiron and the North Node. So when it comes to our destiny, when it comes to our karma that we're dealing with, when it comes to our identity and our wounds, like, we can start to be able to piece it together in our heads and find some common ground here with people in our relationships. It's like the South Node opposing Chiron. It's like it's all starting to happen at once. And I think today it's like, hey, I don't really feel very comfortable, and I'm not feeling good in my own skin. And, I'm not feeling good in this partnership. I'm not feeling good in this relationship. So like, we need to like change things up. We need to, change up the bedroom, let's put the couch over here and like open up this window. Let's, find a new place to live. It could be that extreme of like, hey, you know what? Like, let's just make a move. Let's make a big adjustment here. Let's go trade our car and get a new car. Let's change the scene, change the environment. That's Mercury. And that can lead to some healing. Is being willing to change the environment. And I think this Mercury making the sextile to Chiron in the North Node is like really calling us to like make a massive change and giving us the support to do that. And if we're willing to just not be stuck with this moon in Taurus, then we can really see the future unfold and start to allow this Chiron North Node energy to really allow us to tap into that healing space. And it's going to come down to us changing our environment with this Mercury in Aquarius and making shifts and changes and trusting your instincts and trusting those impulses that just kind of come really quickly into you in a very Uranian Aquarian way. If a thought comes to you very rapidly and very quickly, that's usually the right thing right now with this Mercury in Aquarius. If it's something that you have to sit there and stew on and contemplate, like, yes, no, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, that's this moon in Taurus where it's just like, no, that's not where we need to be right now. We need to be in this Mercury in Aquarius, moving rapidly, trusting our instincts, and breaking patterns, changing up the environment, and doing it quickly, doing it rapidly. This Mars in Aquarius wants to make changes very quickly, and it just came off Pluto. So it's like, we're ready for a big transformation. Transform your environment. And I think when that Mercury conjunct Pluto as well, a little over a week ago, it was like, hey, we're ready to transform our environment. The world is transforming. The environment of the world is transforming. This Venus is going to come into Aquarius on Friday. Then it will conjunct Pluto. So when it comes to our partnerships, it's like, what partnerships really have that power and that unity and that bond that is unbreakable, and which ones just really serve no purpose, like, in our lives anymore. And this Venus-Pluto conjunction that's oncoming here, it's like, yeah, it's either it is a strong bond and it will transform. The relationship will transform if it's a very, very strong bond that really has a purpose and a direction. But if it doesn't, this Pluto-Venus is really, it's going to kill it off. Whatever that is. Whatever Venus-related issues are things that are going to come up for you with this Venus-Pluto conjunction, especially in relationships. We're going to see relationships transform very rapidly, and our values are going to transform. And I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen on the world stage here that are going to start transforming our values. I mean, we're already seeing it. This is going to be one of the most important, craziest years we've seen on this planet, with the generations that are alive now. But it's going to come down to relationships and, what relationships really hold value, that, you can really transform your life and transform wherever you're at in life, and maybe help transform the world, So if there's any relationship going on in your life, or that, something that you're connected to, that you don't share the same values and you don't really align on the direction that you're headed, this Venus-Pluto conjunction is just going to do away with it. It won't cease to exist. But new partnerships and new creative endeavors and new forms of making money and bringing value to the world, it's really going to transform and start to take shape. So this is the last of the personal planets that will conjunct Pluto. So yeah, today's the day where it's like, we can't be afraid to really make changes in our environment, with this moon squaring Mercury, while the Mercury sextiling the North Node, and in Chiron, as we're really anticipating this conjunction here, because they're at 16 degrees and they together, and Chiron's been at 16 degrees and the North Node's been at 16 degrees for many days now, and it hasn't quite hit exact. And when it does, then we're really going to feel us starting to move forward, and it's not going to necessarily be the weight lifted off of our shoulders, so to say, but it's definitely going to be like, okay, we got a clear understanding of where we need to focus our healing energy. And I think where it's going to start with today, with this Mercury really sending a message out saying, hey, like, make a change in your environment, shift things up. Don't be stuck with this moon in Taurus. That's a good place to start, especially if things are feeling stale and static and non-moving. This moon in Taurus can be very non-moving, right? So, yeah, I think today's going to really come down to how we're dealing with our environment, and not necessarily the outer world, but also too with this Mercury in Aquarius, it's like, how does the outer world affect your personal environment? Those are some questions that could come up today too, and that could be quite challenging or uncomfortable, or maybe some things in the world occur today that really challenge our environment that can be uncomfortable. Or some information that comes out today that's like, whoa, like that really shook shit up, and it could be really kind of uncomfortable to really witness it happen. Which more and more information is coming out each day about the truth of what's really going on and the truth of the matter, and also more propaganda and all that kind of craziness. So I definitely think today's a very good day to really get down to the root of the message here. What is the message? I got the 10 of Cups. So, I think today, like, where the healing can really start to take place with this North Node Chiron and Mercury sextiling over, it's like we really just have to, not be afraid to just be in a better place. I think with so much Pluto, Mars energy right now, it's like you can almost get addicted to this kind of intensity and this chaos and more of the edgier, darker things, right? So today's a day where it's like we want to try to see like more of the light coming through, because it is coming through, especially when we get into Pisces season. It's going to feel much lighter. So the amount of intensity that we've gone through, I think, there is things to celebrate, right? I think we do have all the pieces and all the things that we need and all the resources that we need at this moment for ourselves and for what we need for a better future. But at the same time, it's like you don't want to get stuck in a place where you just are immovable, right? But, a lot of insecurities are coming up with this North Node Chiron, where it's like, man, I don't deserve to celebrate. I don't deserve to feel good. That is very North Node Chiron. And I think today the 10 of Cups is very much like we all do deserve to feel, positive about every waking moment, even when challenges arise. So, I think making some changes in your environment, even if they're small, it could be the small things. I think it is too. Mercury is about the small things. It's not so big and, out of this world, even though it is an Aquarius, but Mercury really is like the little things and the things that are just right in front of you. What's right in front of you that you could make a subtle adjustment that could really make a big impact. And it could be the things that you wouldn't even realize could make a big impact that end up making a big impact in your life just by one subtle move, right? It's like in chess, it's not about like some big grandiose move. Like it's a collection of small little moves that get you to the win. So, Mercury is really giving us a powerful message today about the locality of the small things. you know. And it's easy to get stuck today. It's easy to get stuck. So when you do, if you're feeling that way, make a small minor adjustment, you know. Turn the lights on, change the light bulbs, change the color of the lighting in your room, or change, you know, the shower curtain, right? Like let's find a new pattern for a shower curtain. I mean, it's stupid, silly, subtle things that could really affect you psychologically, that can really make a difference and make an impact in the long run. And it sounds so silly, and the little things that are right in front of us each day, like we just look at them as not a big deal, but it is a collection of all these things that really shape our environment and shape who we are. You change one thing, you don't know what could happen. And that's what Aquarius is all about. It's about the experiment. What happens if I just change this one thing? What happens if I combine these two chemicals or metals or whatever? It's the alchemist. It's the scientist. It's like, what can you change that can impact you in the long run that really was just a little thing? So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. It's definitely intense with this moon in Taurus during Scorpio season, with Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus and Mars, Mercury, the Sun, Pluto, and now Venus coming into Aquarius on Friday. Like, it's intense. But we have to be willing to just ride the wave and make changes when necessary and not get stuck. So I'll see you all on Friday. Have a great day. Peace.